Hi, my name is Jessica Uribe, and this is going to be my artifact analysis presentation for National University in my course of MAE 670. An introduction. I've included an introduction slide of me. My name is Jessica Uribe. This is my final project to receive my Master's of Arts in Education from National University. This will be my second master's degree. I completed my undergrad from National University in sociology with a minor in criminal justice administration. I then went on to pursue my Master's of Science in Educational Counseling with a PPS credential. Currently, I'm an elementary school counselor at a K through 8 public charter school. And I've also included a photo here of my family, my husband, my two sons, and my daughter. The MAE program learning outcomes, also known as PLOs, are 1. Integrate advanced approaches to instruction, assessment, and learning using digital tools and skills. 2 is design learning experiences that include learner characteristics, principles, and customized learning and assessment as learning. PLO3 is apply practitioner research methods to study and inform instruction in traditional and digital learning environments. And PLO4 is to develop reflective practices that are grounded in current learning science research, professional ethics, and include pathways to continuous growth. I've also included the IDM legend. The I is introduced, D is developed, and M is legend. M is mastered. We will see the IDM as we move on to the presentation on the allocation for the artifact alignments. The next slide is my plan of study, which includes all of the courses that I've taken to receive my master's degree. My first course was MAE 610, Plan of Study and Practitioner Research. My second was ITL 600, Becoming a Teacher. Third course was ITL 604, Learners in Learning 1. Fourth class was ITL 606, Learners in Learning 2. My next course was ITL 608, Design and Process of Teaching. The sixth course was ITL 510, Language Literacy Foundations. My seventh course was ITL 512, Language and Literacy Strategies. And my eighth course was Mathematics Integrative Design. And my ninth course was EDA 643, Community Development in Higher Education. And the final course to complete my program was MAE 670, Applied Practitioner Research and Customized Study. In my matrix here, I've included the different assignments that I will be discussing and how they have met the PLOs and at what allocation. As we move on in my presentation, I have an outline here of the artifact selected, the IDM allocation, the artifact alignment, and the demonstration of competence. The slide that follows all of this information, just to give you a preview, is an example of the artifact that I have chosen. And the setup will be like this for the entire presentation. For my plan of study, Course 1 was MAE 610, Plan of Study and Practitioner Research. The artifact that was selected for this course was Plan of Study and Practitioner Research paper. I felt like the artifact aligned with PLO 3, and the IDM allocation was introduced and developed. I felt this because it taught me how to apply practitioner research methods to study and inform instruction in traditional and digital learning environments. This was the first course required in the MAE program. This course introduced and developed the essential experiences and exercises to select MAE emphasis courses that align with MAE program learning outcomes, which are also known as PLOs, and to evolve practitioner research paradigms and effective research designs used in education by practitioner researchers. And again, on the following slide is my example or my artifact chosen. My plan of study 2 was ITL 600, Becoming a Teacher. The artifact selected for this course was the Reflective Practice Rubric. I did feel like it aligned with PLO 2 at the with an allocation of introduced, because as a teacher, we're acquiring knowledge and skills to understand, design, and customize lessons. This class has taught me to engage and support all students in learning. The content in this course also introduced how rubrics will be used to assess student learning by clarifying the criteria and specific skills that are expected. The course introduced the graduate level credential program requirements, K through 12 in classroom experiences, and observational skills in a K through 12 classroom. In addition, it presented principles, sustaining an inspired teacher mindset, as well as an electronic showcase reflecting professional growth throughout the program. And here is my example, my assignment that reflected the PLOs. Moving on to my Plan of Study 3, ITL 604, Learners and Learning 1. The artifact selected for this course was Strategies and Support Identification. I do feel like this artifact aligned with PLO 2 with an allocation of Introduced and Developed. The reason being is because as a teacher, because instructing students require teachers to design lessons that meet the needs of various learners. This class presented material and assignments to prepare myself to consider the diverse needs of all students when planning lessons. This course prepared me with the understanding that building relationships and identifying my own biases can help shape how a class is operated. In addition, I learned the importance of considering the strategies and supports to accommodate all student learners. This course examined the psychological, sociocultural, and linguistic and other factors influencing development, learning, and the full range of learners, including English language learners, standard English learners, students with exceptionalities, and students with other needs. It also considered a variety of data to identify appropriate strategies and community-based resources to support all learners and their families. And again, on the following slide, I do have the strategies and support identification assignment that I completed for reference. My Plan of Study 4 was ITL 606, Learners and Learning 2. The artifact selected for this course was Theory to Practice. I do feel like it aligned with all 4 PLOs, and I do feel like the allocation on each PLO was a little different. For PLO 1 and 4, I chose Introduced, and for PLO 2 and 3, it was Developed and Mastered. I felt that this assignment was designed to make connections between key learning theories and UDL principles. It examines theories and research regarding typical and atypical child and adolescent development and learning. It considers various data collection and assessment techniques, guiding the selection of effective instructional strategies, practices, resources, and technologies needed to create environments supporting the full range of learners and provide equitable access to the curriculum. The course introduced how to compare a variety of learning theories and instructional approaches to meet the unique needs of learners. It introduced adolescent development in the identification of appropriate instructional services, including methodologies, strategies, resources, and technology to support a wide range of learners and ensure equitable access to curriculum. Lastly, it introduced how to analyze data from a variety of assessments and data sources and their implications of learning objectives. And again, the next slide does reflect the example of my Theory to Practice assignment. The next Plan of Study 5 was ITL 608, Design and Process of Teaching. The artifact selected for this was the Learning Map Planning Instruction. I felt like the artifact aligned with PLO 1, PLO 2, and PLO 3. Of course, the allocations were different were the same for all of them. I do felt like they were introduced and developed for all PLOs because of the support that can be implemented for students on different special educational plans. This course introduced and developed integrated principles of learning theories and factors influencing human development when designing instruction and evaluating instructional effectiveness. I learned how to utilize a 4-stage cynical model of planning, teaching, analyzing, and reflecting in the process of learning and teaching to ensure that all students equitable access to the curriculum. Technology is one of the tools that can be used to assist students who need audio to read curriculum. All students learn at a different pace, and this class introduced and developed different options for students to access material. Having a variety of options to demonstrate the material being learned gives students a sense of empowerment and a control of what they are learning and how they are going to represent their learning. And again, the following slide does reflect the first 3 pages of my learning map planning instruction for reference. My plan of study 6 was ITL 606, Language Literacy Foundations. The artifact selected for this class was the Padlet Toolbox assignment. I do feel like the artifact aligned with PLO 1 and PLO 2, both with the allocations of introduced. This assignment was full of teaching ideas, activities, resources, and app resources on the topic of phonics, letter names, and sounds. The class introduced new methods for how phonics instruction is a way of teaching reading through the acquisition of letter-sound correspondence. It allowed me to integrate research-based theories, methods, and strategies aligned to the K through 12 California's Common Core standards and ELA and ELD frameworks. Principles are needed to teach foundational reading, writing, listening, speaking, and language for all learners, including English speakers. English learners, standard English learners, students with exceptionalities, and students with learning needs. And again, my next slide does have the first 3 pages of my Padlet Toolbox assignment. The plan of study 7 is ITL 512, Language Literacy Strategies. The artifact selected for this course was the expanded toolbox assignment. I felt like this artifact aligned with all 4 PLOs at different allocations. PLO 1, PLO 2, and PLO 3 all aligned with introduced and developed, and PLO, the allocation was introduced. I felt that it incorporated resources and videos that can help in educating new strategies to try in the classroom with students that may be struggling. The toolbox is full of teaching ideas, accommodations for English language learners, accommodations for learners with special needs, remediation resources, and assessments to identify proficiency in a concept or skill. The resource contains 19 different assessments to cover all of the Common Core literature and informational text standards in one document. This course introduced and developed integrated complex strategies for teaching reading, writing, listening, speaking, and language development. Research-based practices aligned to California's Common Core standards and ELA, ELD frameworks, language and literacy strategies for all learners, including English speakers, English learners, standard English learners, and students with other learning needs in the K through 8 classroom. And again, the next slide does reference my expanded toolbox assignment that was spoken about earlier. On the next slide, I have my plan of study 8, ITL 516, Mathematics Integrative Design. The artifact selected for this course was the assessment analysis. I do feel like it aligned with PLO 3 and PLO 4, with the allocations of introduced and developed for both PLOs. This assignment was designed to build on students' prior academic knowledge related to the content-specific learning goal and to utilize an assessment to analyze student growth. The course introduced and developed the analysis of how elementary children think and learn mathematics. It taught me how to utilize research-based approaches, enabling students to think critically and develop math proficiency and developmentally appropriate instructional strategies for an integrative approach to teaching mathematics, using content areas of visual and performing arts, social science, and STEM. And again, the following slide does reference my assessment analysis assignment. My plan of study 9 was EDA 643, Community Development in Higher Education. The artifact selected was Affirmative Action in Higher Education. I did feel that this artifact aligned with PLO 3 and PLO 4, with the allocation of introduced and developed on both PLOs. It provided the opportunity for me to learn how affirmative action will allow higher education institutions to ensure that they are providing an opportunity to all students and not discriminate based on their race, ethnicity, income, or their identity. This course introduced and developed an examination of the literature on theories related to interaction with the cultures found within a higher education community and the community in which the institution sits. It also introduced strategies for effective communication with various entities within the organization, such as students, staff, faculty, and administration, as well as engaging with the external community of local, state, and regional. And again, I did reference my affirmative action in higher education assignment on the following slide. The final course that I have taken in my plan of study is MAE 670, Applied Practitioner Research and Customized Study. The artifact selected to represent this class was my SEL Practitioner Research proposal. I do feel like the artifact aligned with all 4 PLOs, and they all had an allocation of mastered. In this course, I feel like it presented me with the continued experiences and exercises to develop a practitioner research proposal based on a relational practitioner research question and to produce a reflective presentation that evaluates my plan of study, digital portfolio artifact alignment to the MAE program learning outcomes. Based on what I have learned, I was able to develop a research proposal and outline the steps I would take to address the limitations from previous studies. This included a justification for the proposed relational practitioner research study, methods for the study that included a timeline, description of participants, description of procedures, and a description of the measures. And on the following slide, I did reference the first 3 pages of my practitioner research proposal to view. And this completes my artifact analysis presentation. Thank you for giving me your time and watching my presentation.